David Haye called out Tyson Fury after his farcical win over his friend Joe Fournier. Haye is absolutely shameless when it comes to chasing a pound note. And that's what this is all about as far as I can tell. Now, he weighed 211 pounds, I believe, for this Fournier exhibition. I'm going to call it an exhibition. He weighed 211 pounds and he looked a lot more nimble here than he did against, let's say, Tony Bellew, where he weighed a lot more in both fights. The first fight particularly, but even the second fight, he weighed more than he weighed here, from what I can remember anyway. This is a similar weight to what he was against Vladimir Klitschko. I think he was about 214 or something against Klitschko, but he weighed in with his boots on. And I think I remember Adam Booth saying that on the night of the fight against Klitschko, he was about 209 pounds. So again, similar weight to what he was against Klitschko. And at this weight, his joints, right, his knees, his ankle, all that kind of stuff, they're not going to be under so much stress. I was really baffled as to why David Haye chose to pile on all the extra muscle and come in so heavy against Tony Bellew, because at the end of the day, he's always going to be a bigger puncher than Tony Bellew. Not like Tony Bellew can't punch, he can, but David Haye's always going to be a bigger puncher than Tony Bellew, even if he's 211 pounds rather than 220. So him coming in heavy, he was just handicapping himself as far as I'm concerned, because his whole thing is speed, right? He's faster than Bellew, at least when he's 211 pounds, 200, even 200 pounds. He's faster than Bellew. The quicker man on the outside. But he basically handicapped himself by taking away a lot of his own foot speed. He would have been much better off coming in lighter. But anyway, that's by the by, that's water under the bridge. Here against Fournier, he was moving better than he was against Bellew. Now, I'm not telling you that David Haye can come back and be a legit contender and win titles and beat big names. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you that with the weight off, his movement is so much better. Even now, yeah? So much more nimble, so much more fluid. Now, the Tyson Fury thing. I think he has spoken to his friend Joe Fournier, and Fournier has friends there at Triller, and David Haye apparently got paid a lot of money for this Fournier fight, more money than he got paid for at least one of the Bellew fights, according to David Haye himself. And maybe he's spoken to some of those people there as well, and he's thought, you know what? If I can get Tyson Fury to fight me on Triller, they might actually pay me a ridiculous amount of money. Maybe if I can convince Fury to do it here on Triller, he'll take it, yeah? I'm sure David Haye will still carries favor with some of the sanctioning bodies. How corrupt boxing is. Maybe they'll turn around and say, oh yeah, because of that win over Fournier, we're going to put David Haye up there in the rankings. Stranger things have happened in boxing. I mean, how long was Freza Kendo ranked in the WBA top 10? I know Tyson Fury is WBC champion, not WBA, but I mean, there isn't really much difference in terms of credibility between WBA and WBC. So yeah, I can only imagine it's David Haye with dollar signs in his eyes thinking, wow, this was so easy to get a massive multi-million-dollar payday against his own friend in an exhibition where he just moved around and threw jabs. So if he can actually get a real opponent, and none other than the WBC World Heavyweight Champion Tyson Fury, maybe Triller will be willing to pay the kind of money which Tyson Fury cannot refuse. And Tyson Fury, in between fighting serious people, likes to fight these joke fights. Let's be real. That's how he tends to do it. And this may be up Tyson Fury's alley. We'll see if he does it. What do you guys think in the comments below? Will he actually take a voluntary defense against David Haye if David Haye can get himself ranked in the top 10 with the WBC? I wouldn't put it past Tyson Fury. Certainly wouldn't put it past David Haye to be serious about that fight. And of course, prior to this Fournier fight, he was saying, I'm never going to, make a proper comeback. This is not a comeback. It's a one-off. This is the end. And now we see him saying the exact opposite after the fight. Now, it could be a thing where David Haye didn't want to jinx himself, where he didn't want to put too many expectations in his own mind, right? He didn't want to get his hopes up that he may be able to make a comeback. So he was dismissing it as a way of, as I say, in his own mind, not jinxing himself. Because a lot of fighters are superstitious like that. And maybe when he got in the ring, he was like, okay, let me just see how I feel. And he moved around in there against his friend Fournier, felt like he was healthy, light on his feet, had that pep in his step. His jab was fast. And afterwards, he's thinking to himself, you know what? I can do this properly again. For one fight, let me take on Tyson Fury, get an astronomical payday. for losing, because how many of you guys would really expect David Haye to beat Tyson Fury? That would really be something. If David Haye came back and beat Tyson Fury, I would be gobsmacked. You know, after seeing him in the 2 Bellew fights where his body literally fell apart, I cannot envisage a victory for David Haye against Tyson Fury. That would be bizarre. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about David Haye's exhibition against Fournier and also him calling out Tyson Fury.